Hello, and we just want to welcome you to the first ever, first of its kind, Juneteenth Emerging Leaders Summit. The subtitle is a roadmap for your future as an entrepreneur. This event is convened through the Illinois Black Business Collective. Two of our youngest members and leaders, Sister Nacyla Mitchell and Brother Corey Dooley. We're also very honored to have our dear sister Micae Brown from US Bank on the line as well. Got a great program convened tonight. This is a brief introduction, and what we want to do now is toss it to Sister Nacyla Mitchell to offer you a welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nacyla Mitchell, and I serve as the Trauma Program Director at Sister Girls and Friends, as well as the Secretary for the Metro Decatur Black Chamber of Commerce. I just want to thank everyone and welcome everyone for coming to our Juneteenth Emerging Leaders Summit. Your presence here today signifies a shared commitment to the innovation, creativity, and the relentlessness and pursuit of entrepreneurial success. Today, we have a lot of information for you to build your business, and it's a journey that has challenges, but also has so many triumphs, an unwavering belief that we all can make a difference. Entrepreneurship isn't just about starting a business, it's about creating value, solving problems, and the most important thing, contributing to our community. Our agenda today is two speakers. One will talk about just getting your business set up, and then we have Miss Micae talking about um, a little bit about just like the financial part of starting your business. But beyond the knowledge and insight, today's webinar is about building connections. That is one of the biggest parts about entrepreneurship is that you want to start to network with other people. So we hope our hope here today is that you will get the information of not only us, but different attendees in this webinar for you to continue to network. We all went to myself, um, Corey, and Matthew. We all went to a networking event similar to this one, but it was in person. And that's what started this right here. We were the three youngest people in the building, and we just thought like how amazing it would be to get other young leaders and not just us. It was only three of us, and I promise it was probably 40 to 50 people there. Um, but get other young leaders to be a part of starting their own business. So I just want to thank you guys here today, and I'm going to pass it on to Matt.
Nacyla, thank you so much. I think you definitely put a bow around that in a way that probably many of us would not be able to. I think you hit it on the head. You know, it's an amazing journey, and we want to make sure that young people understand that this is absolutely something within your grasp. So before we get into our two speakers, I just wanted to share a little bit of information on why you should consider entrepreneurship as a young person and talk to you about some resources from the state of Illinois government that could be useful to you. So again, my name is Matt Simpson. I am with the Illinois Office of Minority Economic Empowerment. I am the African American Business Development Manager. So my job is to support Black businesses throughout the state of Illinois. And I'm very encouraged every time I think about this notion of entrepreneurship in our community. In my opinion, my perspective is that you see a strong community evidenced by the institutions that make up the community. So those institutions are a number of things. Sometimes they are faith institutions. I would argue that the most important is the family as an institution. But in addition is the institution of a business. A strong community has strong independent institutions like businesses. And what happens is when you organize your talent and your creativity in a way that you can solve somebody's problem, that is a game changer. So we're introducing this idea of entrepreneurship to young people because it's absolutely the right way to think about how can I have an impact in my community and make a little money in the process. We want you to think about building a strong, independent community by having strong, independent businesses. Your creativity and your talent can do a lot to make things better. So we're introducing this idea to you. Why not think about entrepreneurship? Why not think about starting a business around what you're good at and wrapping it in processes and strategies to, first of all, make a difference and make some money. That's the whole point of entrepreneurship. And we got a couple of speakers that can break that down for you and help you figure out the right way to do it. From the state of Illinois side, I just want to share my screen and show you some resources that can help you get started in your process. I'm going to take you to what you see here is the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunities website. So it's pretty intuitive. You see some images and icons. You see some buttons at the top, energy assistance, access to capital, which we will talk about a little later, and then grant opportunities. There's a number of pages that will take you to info that could help you in your journey. Further along the line, when you grow your business, you may want to get into some tax credits. You may want to take your services and product overseas and do some international trade. There's a lot of different resources. And then when you look through, you'll probably find something that you're looking for that can help you. So I always try to direct people to go to dco.illinois.gov and look around to find some of the information that may be helpful to you. Small business services is a big one. These are things that can help you as you're starting the business. You can get one-on-one advice. You can get assistance with developing a plan. You can get help with market research, strategies for financing, all these things at no cost. And just wanted to point you to that resource first, and we'll follow up with all of these links in the email. But I do want to take you to our webpage, the Office of Minority Economic Empowerment. So right at the top, you just see who we are, what we're about, and what we do, some of our initiatives. Right here, you see the Black Business Collective is what came together to help create this event. But I want to take you all to something we've called the Business Resource Library, right here on the left. So this is a collection of brief videos and manuals that pull together information that can help you get answers to your questions and advance your strategy. So at the top, though, there's a statewide survey we did of Black businesses, a lot of great data to help you understand how Black businesses are doing in Illinois and how we can make it better. But the biggest thing is the Business Basics video series. This is a series of very brief videos. We partner with the Small Business Development Center Network to cover topics that we think entrepreneurs can tap into to get questions answered, such as, what is a business plan and why do I need one? The 5 keys to formalizing your business, marketing basics, filing your taxes, which is crucial. Should I certify as a minority or woman-owned business? How to prepare for grants, and then how to do pop-up shops and vendor events, how to leverage social media, and how to create your own marketing materials. So the Business Resource Library and the Business Basics series is a great tool that we want to encourage you all to look to as you're starting a business and your skills and talents into an institution that can make a difference in our community. So those are the 2 things I wanted to touch on. And now I will pass it to our dear brother, Corey Dooley, who's going to get into some of the logistics to start a business.
Hey, Matt, thank you for passing that to me. Wonderful introduction, Nacyla. Nice to see you again, Micae. Thank you again, Matt, for this opportunity just to bring young people to the table. This is the first time I've ever been a part of a state event like this. But yeah, without further ado, I'll get started. So my name is Corey Dooley, and my organization is Community Corey. I'm actually going to pull up my slide because it has all of this information. Give me 1 second just to share my screen. Okay, it wants me to restart, which I don't want to do. I don't want to leave and come back. Let's see if it'll.
You can send it to me if you need to.
Okay, I'll do that. I'm going to send it over to you via email in a PDF document. Yep, sorry about these technical difficulties, you all.
Corey, I want to say thank you for getting the technical difficulties out of the way. So that means I'm free and clear with my presentation because there's always one during these things. So thank you.
And as Corey's pulling together his slides, what I'll do is just share a little bit more information on the organization or the convening behind this event today. Once a quarter, I have began pulling together Black business organizations from across the state. And I've called it the Black Business Collective. Every 3 months, we get together to, first of all, connect with each other and share best practices, resources, and information. Second of all, I bring state leaders in front of these organizations to make sure we're getting timely updates and information to the Black business community. And third, we begin to do work and projects. We have these working groups where we pull together committees around different strategies and priorities that have come up through our collective. And most recently, one of those priorities was engaging youth and young people. It's a cliche statement to say, but we understand that the youth are our future, and the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. And we want to make sure our young people are prepared to compete and fight for themselves in this global economy. We always talk about how the solution to our problems is usually sitting right next to us in the form of our brothers or our sisters. And we want to make sure that we are equipped with what we need to be successful, including our young people being equipped. So we want to start in that way by convening around Juneteenth, a very important holiday around emancipation and independence, this idea of entrepreneurship and a roadmap to our future as an entrepreneurship. So that came from the Black Business Collective, these Black business organizations meeting to solve problems. And we're very honored to have this be happening as the initial offering from the youth committee of the Black Business Collective. So now what I'm going to do is open up the slide that Brother Corey shared with me, and we will.
Yep. Thank you, Matt. Thank you all for being patient.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, we can get started. So that font is a little hard to read, but I know what it says because that is me. But then once again, my name is Corey Dooley. I think it went to the next slide, Matt. Thank you. So I'm going to talk in third person, but this is me. Corey is studying for his second master's at Arizona State University in architecture. I'm an entrepreneur, and I established Community Corey last year in 2023. I also published my own children's book called Little Shorty Love. I'm a former corridor manager for Chicago Avenue Soul City Business Corridor, which is one of the business districts, a Black business district that's being built here in Chicago, in the Austin community. I'm also involved with the Austin Experience, an initiative in partnership with My Shot, My Future, which is fancy language for saying that I work with youth in Austin. And my vision is to create Prime 29 Chicago, a youth-led business organization whose focus is on developing young entrepreneurs and professionals in the 29th Ward in the city of Chicago. So, you can see my resume is pretty extensive, right? And one thing I didn't put on there was that I ran for office in the last election cycle. I ran for city council here in Chicago as a 29th Ward alderman. And while I wasn't elected, I learned so many things. And so, you look at this resume, the stat sheet, you're like, oh my God, this guy has got it all. He's amazing. But what you don't see is, the moments that it took for me to get here. You wouldn't know that 11 years ago, I'm a survivor of gun violence, and I was shot multiple times and wasn't expected to live. And so, before we talk about starting a business, starting a business is easy, but being an entrepreneur is a little bit harder. And so before we get into that, starting a business, I just want to take you through some things that you're going to need on your journey of entrepreneurship to get you ready to start that business. We can go to the next slide, Matt. Yeah, so typically, right, I had this burning desire to get involved in my community, right? I went through something traumatic and I was like, hey, I want to make sure this doesn't happen to anyone else. And on my journey of getting involved in my community, I figured out there was three ways that you could typically do that. And those three ways are social, political, and economical. I knew a lot about the social, which is, food drives and, going out to do rallies and, peacemaking, peace building with your neighbors. I knew a lot about that. I knew about the political, right? I ran for office. I knew how to, go and vote and change certain policies, but I was not that well equipped on the economical. And so today I want us to think economically, think about real estate, think about buying a business, think about how economics can solve the problems in your community and identify your ability. So, as an entrepreneur, I believe that, I know that I was born with a God-given talents and abilities. And if that's true for me, I know that it's true for you as well. And so I would encourage you to find what you're naturally good at. If you don't know what you're good at, or you don't have, any ideas of a business, what are you naturally good at? Is it drawing? Is it talking to people? What do you like to do as a hobby? Start there if you're thinking about starting a business, the things that you're naturally good at, because it was told to me, if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. So identify that ability for yourself as something that you want to do first. Yep. And so for me, I wanted to attach two things here. So like I said, I'm an artist as well. And my abilities were public speaking and art. And so for me, I always knew that I was a good speaker. I'm an extrovert. I'm a people person. My name is Community Corey. So I have to be a community person. And for me, that was just like, oh yeah, I'm good at talking to people. I never really knew that that was a skill that I could use and people would pay me to speak in front of, hundreds, tens, hundreds of thousands of people, and I can get paid for my ability in speaking. As you see right here, digital design is another one of my skills, which actually started from me making memes of my friends in college. And so, these were things that I was just doing for fun. And as I honed my skills, I realized, hey, I can actually turn this into a business. And one thing that you should remember is that your skills are strengthened through trials. And so I know in high school, I was a great speaker. And when that incident happened to me and I was in the hospital, my dad actually was the first one to put a camera in my face. And, I couldn't really talk that well. I was down bad. And, it was through that I developed my speaking skills, right? And so that's a trial that happened, but it actually strengthened me. With my digital design, this is something that, like I said, I was making memes of my friends. And 2 to 3 years ago, I went through a phase where I had left my job. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I just started playing around on Canva. And so I started designing things on Canva. And in the midst of me not having a job, that 6 months, I pretty much got enough to be able to start to write a book. And so, like I said, identify those abilities and think about how you can turn those skills into a business. And don't be scared when trials come your way. See that as an opportunity to hone those skills. Yep. And so once you've identified your ability and once you decided, hey, I've honed these skills, what you're going to need to do is develop personally and professionally. I know growing up in our generation, I think we've gotten a little bit away from, certain etiquette, certain manners as far as, simple eye contact. I know the pandemic has exacerbated these things. And so just getting back in that rhythm and learning these things again is going to help you navigate your personal life and your professional life, right? You should learn your triggers. How do I speak? How do I want to be seen, right? If I show up at an event, the way that I'm dressed sends a certain message, right? So how do I want to dress? What things do I want to put out there in the universe, whether that be on social media or in person, that are going to tell other people about me? And so that personal and professional development is critical before you go and start a business. Networking, right? And so once you are developed personally and professionally, you got to go out there and you got to build your brand, right? And so we hear entrepreneurship, start a business. We think it's kind of easy. For me, what I would recommend before you start a business is I believe that you need to build your base, right? You need a base of people. You need people that know your work, right? And so I suggest getting experience, whether that be a job experience, an internship, or you might be blessed enough to where you can already tap into a network of people that know your skills, or you've come through somebody that can vouch for you. But for most people, you're going to have to go out there, build that network and rapport. And once people see that you're pretty good at something and you're reliable and consistent and present yourself in a decent manner, they're more likely to do business with you. And so for me in my journey, I worked for 5 years. I interned for a few years. Then I ended up working, and it was about a total of 5 years. And throughout that time, I just made sure to keep emails. I made sure to keep in contact with people because when I transitioned from my job and I started my own business, I was able to go back to those same people, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we know the work that you do. You're a trustworthy guy. You're somebody that we don't mind paying to do this." Yep. Next slide. I'm still seeing the networking slide on my end. Okay, thank you. And so this is literally an excerpt from my book. Oh,
Sorry, I got a little delay on my
no,
end,
that's
man.
okay.
I'm gonna go back for you. Back to the book.
Okay, it is just slightly delayed. It's still showing. Okay, got you. Thank you, Matt. I know I put you in in an awkward position, having to be MC right here at the last second, but appreciate you. So this is literally an excerpt from my book, Little Shorty Love, and I want to give something tangible, right? I want you to. I don't want to just talk to you. I want you to actually see, hey, this young man is giving me the blueprint on what to do. So I want to give you real examples. And this is literally is just an emphasis on how I use my skills and abilities and those things that were around me to go and start my own business. And that's an illustration of where I used to work. But just like I said, I wanted to give some tangible things so that you could see. And so, like I said, I want to give you something tangible. And so, before you start a business, what you're going to need is a business plan, right? You've already identified your ability. You've grown personally and professionally. You've went out and networked, and you got that experience. And so now you need to put together a business plan. This is going to help you decide where you want your business to go. This is going to help you set goals. And also, whenever you apply for grants or looking for funding, this document is important because you're going to have something. You need something in hand, or physical or digital, to be able to present so that others can see your vision and where you're going. So I'm literally going to walk y'all through my business plan so y'all can see it's not as hard as you think it is. This is not the most extensive business plan. This is just something that I put together. So this is build the slide. My mission at Community Corey is to build self, build community, and build economy. And my mission is dedicated to helping youth leverage their experience, foster innovation, and build sustainable communities. My vision, we envision a world where young people are empowered with the skills, resources, and networks needed to thrive in leadership, professionalism, and entrepreneurship. These are my products here. I have 3 different products of my business. I have my children's book, Little Shorty Love. I also have my artwork, which is Heartwork by Dojo. And then I also do workshops and speaking engagements as well. And my target market, right? You always need a target market. My target market is small to medium non-for-profits on the west side of Chicago. My business model, through our workshops on design, literacy, and self-publishing, we equip young people with innovative skills and resources necessary to succeed in today's rapidly advancing interconnected world. Providing youth with access to knowledge tools, we guide them to develop personally and professionally. These are my financials where you can see, I'm not going to read through that, but they're just, my products, how much they cost, like I said. So when I present this for a grant, they can see, oh, okay, this young man has everything laid out. If someone wants to purchase something from me, the information is right there. My marketing strategy, which is simple. I have a website, I'm on social media, and I send out a weekly e-newsletter. And this is just the last slide, just literally a sum up of what it is. And so this was literally 10 pages, right? So it doesn't have to be anything overly, crazy or too extensive. It just has to be something on paper that shows that you know what direction that you want to go in. And once you're confident in that, you can pitch this, and you're more likely to get funding if you have something on paper that shows your game plan. Okay, and so once you have your plan, your business plan, now you are ready to register your business, and that is simple. That is literally 3 simple steps, and this is for registering a business here in the state of Illinois. And so, one, you want to register your business. Matt, if you could go to the next slide. And so what you want to do is first search to see if the LLC, and this is particularly for a limited liability company, an LLC, and typically you do this so that you want an LLC so things aren't in your name, but they're in your business's name. For whatever reason, if something happens, you want your business, taking the fall, not necessarily your personal. And so you want to go to the illinois.gov website and literally business entity search. I put a QR code right there. Make sure that the name is there. And once the name is there, we can go to the next slide, Matt. Once you've decided, okay, the name is good, and I'm ready to go, you're going to want to go and to the Illinois website, departments, business tab, the QR code is right there. And then you're going to want to organize that LLC. All it's going to ask you to do is to put in your entity's name. It's going to ask you for some simple information such as an address. Me personally, I wouldn't advise you to put your home address, for business purposes, unless you're a home-based business. That's a little different. But I would consider getting a PO box, or looking at a physical location. If you do have to put your home address, that is something that you can change later. But I recommend doing a PO box or a brick and mortar location. Yep. And so that process right there is $150. It's good that it's going to cost you to put that in. And once you submit your paperwork and you pay the money, it's literally a 3 to 4 day turnaround that they come back and they give you a file number. And once you get that file number, okay, then you've done step 1. The step 2 is to get your EIN number. And EIN stands for Employer Identifier Number. If I'm saying that correctly, I believe that's right. And what this is that whenever you go to apply for grants, if someone is going to pay you, this is literally the code that they use. So it's essential that you have an EIN number. We can go to the next slide, Matt. All you need to do to get an EIN number is go to the IRS website, irs.gov. I put the QR code here. It gives you those same steps that I just told you, and then you're going to apply for an EIN. If you want to do it digitally, that's the fastest, which I did. I just put in my file number, some information, and I asked for a digital copy, and it gave me an EIN right there. So I had that, and then once I am incorporated and I have my EIN number, the next step essentially is to get a bank account. You want a business bank account because you don't want to commingle funds. You don't want your personal bank and your business bank. It's hard to keep track of those funds. You want to keep it a clean record so that way when you report, everything is ready to go, and you're not mixing your personal and your professional. I'm not sure I put this last slide on here, but before we go to that, I want you to think, as I wrap up here and I pass it to Micae, I want you to think about scaling your business. Don't just think about your business locally. Think about your business on a city level, a state level, and a federal level. So for me, I just thought about selling my books to moms, to children. I just started to think about, hey, I actually need to go and get a contract with Chicago Public Schools so that they can buy my books in bulk. Hey, I probably need to get registered to do business with the state so that way I can go to different school districts across the state and sell my book. So think about scaling your business. But those are my tips for starting business. Thank you all, and I'm gonna pass it. Well, actually, if there's any questions, Matt, I'm gonna pass it back to Matt.
Yeah, great presentation, man. I think you kind of made it personal, you made it approachable, and that's very important. You talked about your journey, your own personal business. You walked through a very clean, simple business plan, and that's crucial when you're trying to advance a strong, independent institution like a business. So people can think about themselves and their skills in relation to what you presented, how to organize their information. I love those 3 steps you presented. First of all was that LLC piece. You put the price out there. There's a price for that. You gotta, pay the government,
Mhm.
what they need. But then there's the EIN, which is free.
Mhm.
And then the bank account. Now, obviously, there's a lot of different ways to approach that, and we have an subject matter expert on the line to talk about that. But we want to make sure that you're not being taken advantage of by people who are trying to come up off of you and your vision for a business. People will charge you for things that you don't have to pay for. So, I did present the State of Illinois Office of Minority Economic Empowerment Business Basics series. That information is available to you. There is the Small Business Development Center. Now, there is a such thing as building trust with the person who can advise you, and maybe they have a fee for their services. That's all good. But we don't want you to be paying for things that you can get for free. And Corey broke that down for you very well. That EIN is free. You may search something online and then there's a fee attached to a lot of these things. Just be very careful when you're trying to advance that. I think Corey did a great job introducing that to us. So I don't see any questions right now. Please feel free to jump in the chat with any ideas or responses or questions that you have. And now what we'll do is pass it to our dear sister, Micae Brown, who is the vice president, one of the vice presidents at US Bank. So Micae.
See. All right. Can you all hear me? Okay, great. I'm going to just test one little thing on the, can you see a presenter view or do you see like a widescreen view? It's a presenter view?
Presenter, yeah.
Okay. I'll freestyle it. Okay. I'm not using my double screen. I'm away. I'm not at home and I'm not in the office. So I'm Micae Brown. I'm so excited to be here. And today we're going to just be talking about how do you build your banking relationship. I cover Illinois and Milwaukee. So today I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm a business access advisor. And you're probably wondering what the heck is a business access advisor and what does that mean to me? My role is to ensure that Black business owners get access to capital. So I fall under our access commitment program at US Bank. US Bank made the largest financial commitment to the community in financial history to date. We made $100 billion commitment to the community. And in that commitment to the community, it falls under 4 buckets. And those 4 buckets are what you see on the screen: Access Home, the Access Bank Fund, Access Wealth, and Access Business. And I fall under Access Business. Each one of these buckets has someone like me that is here to help guide you and navigate and help you and be that advocate to help you navigate the banking system as it relates to each one of these individual industries. Access Business is a huge pillar within the banking system because business is how the world goes round. Small businesses make up a large percentage of our economy, And women-owned businesses make up an even larger percentage of our economy. What's the unfortunate statistic is our businesses are failing at a faster rate in which they're starting, and a large percentage of those are Black business owners. A lot of that is due to the fact that we have a lack of access to capital. It's not because we're not qualified, it's because we have a lack of knowledge and a lack of confidence in the financial institutions, and rightfully so. So I'm here to be that advocate to help you navigate the bank inside and outside of the bank. So if we can't help you inside of the bank, I'm also here to help you get financing outside of the bank and give you those tools to help you become bankable. So I want to talk to you about selecting a financial institution. Many of you probably are wondering, how do I even pick a bank? Do I pick a internet bank? I think those are really, really popular right now. And I think we're also seeing the collapse of a lot of banks too. So I want to walk you through some of the factors that you can consider when you're picking a financial institution, because relationships play a huge role when you're getting financed. So building a banking relationship is huge. And I feel like even though we live in this COVID world, it is so important for you to actually go into a bank. If you don't know someone like me that can make an email introduction and you have a virtual call, and actually meet someone. So there are special bankers that work on business accounts, and that's in all banks across the country. You'll have a business banker. They're typically called business bankers or small business specialists or whatever they are called from bank to bank, but you want to meet someone that specializes with businesses. In addition to meeting with someone that specialized with businesses, you also want to know who the branch manager is. They have a lot of power too, and a lot of times branch managers are equipped to help you better understand the business world, but you want to meet with a small business specialist. And let me just break down like why that's important. So there are different products for your business account, and there are different products for your personal account. And for tax purposes, just like Corey was kind of alluding to, you want to separate the two. So when you file that EIN is a identification number for your business. And when you do that, and when you set up your LLC or your S Corp, et cetera, you're going to need those two pieces of documentation when you open up your business account, and you keep that separate from your personal. Now, contrary to what you may see on the internet, when you want to get business credit, we are going to run your personal credit to see if you are worthy for business credit. So I know many of you all out there are probably listening to whoever on the internet that's telling you build your business credit. I'm here to tell you that that is a myth. Your business credit really doesn't mean anything until it means something. It's kind of like racking up Amex points. Your Amex points mean nothing until you have a whole lot of them. So especially when you're first starting out and you are trying to get access to capital, your personal credit means everything. So when you go to a financial institution and you want to set up a business account, one of the greatest things that you can do to that relationship is also have a personal account, and you have really good transaction history on that personal side. So banks do business with people that they can trust. And so if you have good personal transaction history and good personal credit, then they're going to be more likely to lend to you on the business side. So anyone that's told you that you don't need personal credit to get business credit, they're lying to you, because your personal credit is going to get ran, and you're going to have to personally guarantee all business products. Just when you get approved, that those accounts don't fall under your personal credit according to your debt to income ratio. So there we have that. Here's some myths, other myths I would like to debunk. Banks don't want my business because I'm too small. That's a lie. We want your business. We totally want your business, and we want you to put your business in your account. The unfortunate thing is that you may run across some people at a bank, and I hate to say this out loud, that may not pay attention to you. And I'm sorry that that's your experience. And that's when you call someone like me to make sure that you have the experience that you should have. It's no secret that these people run on a sales quota, and sometimes people of color get lost through the cracks. That's why you have an advocate. So we want your business, and we should do everything we can to earn your business. And I'm here to help you navigate that. Banks don't make small loans. Yes, they do. We do them all day long, and we do them really, really fast. So if you have solid credit, so a 680 and above, that is the minimum credit score right now. And in this economic climate, I'm trying to tell you, you need to come in higher than a 680. So your personal credit's everything. So if you're in college, I need you to say no to all those credit cards that they're trying to pitch you, unless you can pay for them, unless you put them on auto payment every single month, unless you can pay them off every single month. Don't take them, because if you're trashing your credit now, it's going to be so hard for you to bring them up. If you have parents that are reliable, that actually pay their bills on time, and they have a very high credit score, because I know when I was younger, I was paying bills. So, but if you have reliable parents and they can put you as an authorized user and they have high credit scores, I would go that route if you don't trust yourself in paying your bills on time, because you're never too early to build your credit, but it's always very easy to destroy your credit, especially if you're in college, because credit card companies are predators. But we do make small loans. We do them all day long, but you need solid credit. So it's very important to build those healthy credit habits early on. And just a little side note, we help you build your credit for free at the bank. So we have a cool partnership with Operation Hope. We actually have a credit counselor that sits in our branch in Pullman, and she helps you build your credit. So if you need help, reach out to me and we will put you on the path of credit worthiness. So, do I need perfect credit history? This is what I was getting at. You don't need perfect credit history. There are products. We have credit builder products, and we also work with external institutions. So your credit doesn't have to be perfect, but I strongly suggest that you work on getting your credit to a good score, because it makes life a whole lot easier when we're trying to get deals done. Loan applications take months and fees are not affordable. Loan applications take a day or two. So you can get approved in a day. You can get your money the following day. Like, that's how quickly things turn around. Let's say you want some equipment. Let's say you make t-shirts. You can get $80,000 in equipment with no financials if you have solid credit. Credit makes the world go round. This is why I'm urging you all, please don't destroy your credit. Let's work on your credit. And if you need help, we have the resources for free. Don't pay people to fix your credit. Anytime you're paying somebody for something and it's credit related, please think twice about it, because 9 times out of 10, it's a get rich quick scheme. And sometimes it actually works to your detriment. A lot of times they will file claims against banks that you are trying to get capital from, and you'll never be able to get capital from those banks again. And that's what a lot of people don't know with a lot of credit repair agencies. So please, please, please be careful. And actually, if you want to fix your credit, go to the bank to actually ask for help. So go to a reliable source instead of paying a fortune for something that's actually not going to fall off your credit permanently. So it'll get fixed for 6 months, and then it'll actually come back and it's not going to be permanent. And then you can't get financing through those banks that you filed these false claims against. So please be careful when you do things like that. So, I'm not going to go through this slide. I want to talk about a couple of other things. We can just go through this really quickly. I want to talk about building a relationship. Relationships are extremely important when you're talking about getting access to capital through a bank. It's almost like getting a job. You're going to get a job from someone that you built rapport with. And that's the same thing when you think about a bank. So you're going to build rapport with the bank by putting money in there, not letting your account go negative, by having positive transactions, solid account balances, so not having a nickel in there. So if you have a nickel in your account for 6 months straight, and then you come and say, hey, I need $50,000, why in the heck are they going to give you some money? So build a solid relationship by having good banking practices, by putting money in your account and letting the money flow, and let good money flow, but also making sure that when you have credit cards, put those credit cards on auto pay. And then if you can pay them off every single month, or at least keep them below 30%. In this economic climate right now, banks they're always looking at your DTI, but they're really heavily looking at your debt to income ratio right now. So banks are trying to hold on to cash, and they really don't want people that are walking around with a ton of debt. So work on paying your debt down. And if you need help with getting that done, we put you on a credit personal improvement plan. We do a soft pull on your credit, and we'll help you with doing that, because we understand the importance of just sometimes getting on a budget, and that admin work is just kind of hard. Our credit counselors will help you do that. So we'll help you become bankable. I just can't stress to you enough how important this credit score is. It is the biggest barrier to entry for us getting capital. And I'm sick of fighting the fight of a 500 credit score just because you got too much debt. Like, let's figure out how to pay this debt off. Stop the Fashion Nova purchases. Like, wear the same clothes. It's okay. Like, you don't have to have a new outfit every single week. I'm over it. I'm so over it. Quit the Fashion Nova stuff. Take it off. Stop affirming things. Like, let's stop buying stuff and let's start saving money, because it's your biggest barrier to entry. And stop commingling funds, because when we go through your bank statements and we see the Fashion Nova on the business side, we're going to question your practices. So when you have to get documents together, we're questioning your practices. So clean up your paperwork, folks, so that we can help you out. And when you need help, please reach out. So get a real accountant. TurboTax is not an accountant. It's cool, right? But when you want to get access to capital, you can no longer use TurboTax. You have to get a real accountant, and you actually have to get an attorney. Like, those are two things that you have to spend money on, and they have to be legit, because we're going to comb through that paperwork, and they're combing through it with a fine-tooth comb. So please get your house in order so that I can help you navigate the banking system. That's all I got for you.
Wow, look, you brought it home strong at the end. But I do want to touch on a little bit more. I think it's some things that because we hear about this idea of access to capital a lot. And I think you touched on a few different things that impact our ability to access capital. And it's something that we cannot get around. Obviously, there's a lot of advocacy, people trying to do more to broaden the idea of a good credit score and how to make sure we're not punishing people or kind of like trapping people because of their credit score. So there is some work being done around that. But you really did speak on a true thing, is that the credit score is important because it is speaking to your payment history. It's speaking to your consistency, your discipline. And that speaks to character, so the credit is not bad necessarily. You want to just take care of your bills on time to bring your credit up. And then you spoke to a little cheat code, like the bank can help you. I think that's important. Can you just talk about that credit score piece and how the bank can be a partner?
So the bank wants to give you money, okay? Like, they want the fees. So the bank makes money by lending you money. So we want as many customers as possible. They just have to know that they're going to get the money back. That's period. So I don't want anyone to think that the bank doesn't want to lend. The bank wants to lend because that is how the bank makes money, okay? We make money on fees. Let me put that there. 2, credit score is important. You can get a loan with a low credit score. It is going to require a whole lot of documentation. You're going to go to an external resource, so that is a CDFI or credit union, etc. We partner with those institutions. We give them money in the form of grants and loans, and I help you navigate that. So those, I want to get that out the way. So low credit score, that is fine. So that's below a 680. We work through that, but you have to bring so much paperwork to the table. So that's what I was mentioning in paperwork. They are going to comb through that paperwork with a fine-tooth comb, 2 years of tax returns, bank statements, cash flow statements, all of these things to get a loan. There are products where you don't have to come to the table with all of that. You can get no documentation products, $50,000, $80,000. I mentioned several of those, right? You have to have a minimum credit score to do so. So it's kind of like going to the Amex lounge, right? To get the Amex, you got to have a certain level. It's like going to Delta. You don't have to wait with the common folks in the airport if you got an Amex, but you reached a certain level to get there. So you can still get on the flight, but you just not in the lounge. So I want us to be in the lounge so that we don't have to go through hell and back to get capital. So our counselors will literally sit down with you, do a soft pull on your credit, and show you everything on your credit. They will help you write the letters. They will help you get on a budget plan. They will literally help you become credit worthy to get into those no documentation products so that you could be in the Amex lounge and you don't got to be with all those other people paying for McDonald's when you can get the free food that they provide in the lounge. It's nice and hot and it's like a variety, and you don't just have to eat fries. You can get fries and like a steak. So there is still available products, and sometimes we can't get these products right now, which is why we partner with CDFIs. And maybe you have to be in a CDFI product, which I came from one. I used to work at LISC, and you have to be in that product for 2 years and then come to the bank, and that's totally fine. Wherever you start is where you start. I just want our young people to not have to start there. You can start at a traditional bank. It's kind of like, why do you want to go FHA when you can go conventional and not have to go into a crazy bidding war and potentially lose the home of your dreams? FHA is cool, but if there is a bidding war, the seller is taking conventional all day long. I mean, that's just what it is, because FHA comes with all of this paperwork. So why are you going to set yourself up for a whole lot of headache when you can set yourself up for smooth sailing in the lounge with all the free food you want to eat, and you don't got to go through all of this trouble? So pay your bills on time, establish good payment history, put money in the bank, let it sit there. High balances. Don't put 5 cents in your bank account. That's stupid. Why are we lending to people with 5 cents in their bank account? I wouldn't trust somebody with 5 cents in your bank account. You can't even get a drop of gas for 5 cents. If you're paying Verizon Wireless late, why do we think that you're going to pay us on time? If you can't pay your phone bill on time, one of the most critical pieces of technology, why do you think the bank is going to give you some money? So they're looking at that. So be responsible now so that you can get good things later.
I love that. I think that's that hard truth. You got to pay your bills on time. You got to keep some money in the bank, because that speaks to your ability to handle funds that could come from the lender. So it's not a bad thing. It's just part of the process. And I love, Micae, you talk about that paperwork. One thing that we always say is paperwork makes the paperwork. Paperwork makes the paperwork. When you have your paperwork in order, you can get to the money that you're looking for. It makes the paper work. It makes the process advance for you. So it's the tax returns. It's the the good standing with the Secretary of State. It's the bank statements. It's the income statements, P&Ls. And again, there's a lot of resources that can help you with that. Young people, we don't want you to be afraid of this, but it's time to start thinking as a boss, thinking as a business. That's what you are. And we've all come together, myself, Brother Corey, Sister Micae, and Sister Nacyla, to try to present this information to you in a way that, first of all, encourages you and affirms you as the future. And second of all, kind of makes it more real for you and tangible. Like, you can really do this. A lot of us are making our own candles, are making body butters, making jewelry, making t-shirts, making, food. Some of us are hustling plates of food on Facebook. Now, that's a exciting start. We want to help you formalize that. We want to help you organize this energy and this talent into a business. And
can I add one thing really quick?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So for those that already are starting, and you're probably taking payments through like PayPal, Stripe. I was doing this before too. I was an entrepreneur for 7.5 years. You're paying these fees, all this stuff takes you 3 days to get your money, or you pay that extra fee for the direct deposit. Don't do that anymore. Do your payment solutions through your bank. So a couple of things when you do that. One, when you do your payment solutions through your bank, the fees are way less. A lot of times you pass the fees on to your customers. So the fees are extremely less. You get your money same day, every single day, no charge. But two, you start building an internal credit grade with the bank, with those transactions. So that money is flowing through a bank account. And so the bank starts to see your credit worthiness and the type of business that you are doing with those transactions. So if you have merchant right now, you're using Chime, whatever you're using, cancel them. Sign up with your bank. You start establishing a credit history with your bank and you don't even know it. And it's a lot cheaper and you save on fees.
That's a good game right there. So as we invite our attendees to ask questions, if you have them in the chat, I do want to open the floor up to Corey and Nacyla. Any other comments we want to share with the young people as we think about Juneteenth, as we think about emerging leaders and our future entrepreneurs?
I just have a quick piggyback off something Micae mentioned. How do you feel about Zelle? I know that that's been popular, accepting payments through Zelle. Is that something that you recommend for entrepreneurs? Is that safe?
We provide Zelle. So we have Zelle, we do that. The only thing about Zelle, and Zelle is totally fine. You see my wheels turning. My only thing is, and I think now they have this new provision where people can't ask for their money back. So you know how like when someone has a credit card, there's a whole security thing that happens when chargebacks, etc. With Zelle, you have to do like a second layer when you're reporting to the IRS. So I don't know how that's being tracked for tax purposes. And so you'll just have to ask your accountant. So Zelle is fine because that's going into a bank account. But I would ask your accountant, how do you feel about me taking Zelle payments? Because I don't know how that is tracked via the IRS. And you want all of that stuff tracked if you actually want to get money.
I think that's
Thank you.
important too. We're not trying to hide our money. You know, when you're hustling, you might be trying to hide the money, but we're not hustling. We're doing business now. So you want a record and you want to account for all of the money coming and going. That's why our sister talked about you want to have an accountant because you want to have an account for all of that. And because you are going to be successful as an entrepreneur. So we're not scared of making that money. We want to show it. And that's a great point. That's the L piece. That's a great point. I'm gonna put it out there. Attendees, any questions? And then, Corey, you asked a great one. Anything else from you, Sister Nacyla? Any other comments before we yield the evening back to our audience?
I did just want to thank everybody. I feel like so nice that we were able to pull this together. It's really exciting, and I can't wait for us to host something similar to this. And I hope you all join us the next time and tell it to your friends, to your other business partners and everything, so we can have some more interaction with everybody.
I think you said it perfectly. So with that, I think what we'll do is close this event tonight. I want to thank you all again for joining us for the first ever Juneteenth Emerging Leaders Summit. I'll just pull the flyer up again so you can see this graphic. What we did was we tried to pull together a roadmap for your future as an entrepreneur. We talked about why you should maybe consider becoming an entrepreneur. We talked about the steps that it takes to become an entrepreneur. And then we got into the banking piece, the financing piece, the money. Money is a major issue. We talked about how important your credit is, how you need to get that paperwork in order because paperwork makes the paperwork. And then we also share some state of Illinois resources that can help you begin to advance on your journey to entrepreneurship. So with that, we will say good evening. Look forward to the follow-up email to everybody who registered. Please keep your eyes on each of our organizations as you look forward to get support for entrepreneurs here in Illinois. So good night and have a good one.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.